Hello everyone. How are you guys doing today? Good? So far okay, but I'm feeling like I'm getting sick. My throat is burning and my niece and nephews, baby niece and nephews at home, they all are sick. So there's a huh? Yeah, probably we will because we don't have much to cover. These are our last section. Our last section of the syllabus after today. So true. I feel like we started just a few weeks ago. I mean, a few days ago, not even weeks. And now the whole semester is almost over. So our plan is we are going to do 13.3 today, which is the last materials for the syllabus. So we'll be done with the syllabus today. Next Tuesday, remember, for us, I'm giving a day off. Catch up with your homework, quizzes, all those things. And then next Thursday or next Friday, we have a school off. Thanksgiving, enjoy Thanksgiving. And then we are going to meet again after next week, the following week, Tuesday. And that time we're going to do a review and your exam will be Friday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. So you're going to meet after 10 days, I think. Okay.
The department will give you the free class.
No, they didn't tell me anything yet. They take so much time. And usually they tell me, like for this semester, they told me just 2 days before semester starts. Like, can you take this class? So I was like, okay, no problem. So they gave me a quick help. So it's really hard to know. Yeah. I will let you know if
For the best.
yeah. I'll let you know if they tell me yes. So it will be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, these 3 days. This will not be probably Monday, Wednesday, because I work Monday, Wednesday at Hunter.
I enrolled in a different like math class or like it would be section of it with someone else. And then you found out that
If the classroom
class is cool and it turns out it's still or
not officially. Yeah. This semester many students tried, my previous student, but the class was already locked. So they couldn't get in. Yeah. But I'll let you know as soon as I know. So if the spots are available, we can register. Okay, 13.3. Any question before you start that? Any comments, concern, complaint? I'm taking a break from giving you quizzes because I already have so many things to grade. So, yeah. Okay, so in 13.3, we're going to solve system of equations, and this will be non-linear equations. Non-linear means we are going to have many different types of shapes, like parabola, square. Actually, these two, parabola, square, and then our line. So 3 types of functions, they work together, and then we want to see where they intersect. Where they intersect, that's the solution. For example, you may have a line, you may have a circle that intersects a line. So the solution for a circle and line is where they intersect. So you're supposed to have, like if they intersect this way, we're supposed to have 2 solutions. But if they intersect this way, then you're supposed to have 1 solution. Or we may have a circle and a parabola. If we have a circle and a parabola and they intersect this way, then we're supposed to have 4 solutions. Or we may have a circle and a parabola like this, so we can have 2 solutions. Or we may have 2 parabolas, one is upward, one is downward. Okay, so solutions, solve the system of equations, it means find out where the 2 figures we have, they intersect. Okay. Now we are going to use 2 methods, substitution and elimination. There's also another method, graphing, but we're not going to use graphing. We're going to use only these 2 methods in 13.3. So we're going to start with substitution. It's called substitution because we're going to substitute one variable with an equation into another equation. So we'll be given two equations. We use substitution method when one variable is already alone on one side of the equal sign, or it will be easily solvable from the equation. Example, something like this. We have y equals x squared, which is a parabola, and 2x plus y equals 15. What type of shape we have for 2x plus y equals 15? It's just a line. So maybe it intersects the parabola this way. If it does, then we're supposed to have two solutions. So we're going to use substitution method because in one of the equation, our y is already alone on one side of the equal sign. So why does it matter? Because we can substitute the second y in the second equation with the information given in our first equation. So in the second equation, we have 2x plus y equals 15. Instead of writing y, we can just use that y is x squared. So you can substitute y with x squared. That's why this method is called substitution, because we substituted one variable with something else. And now by looking at this, we have 2x plus x squared equals 15. What type of equation we have now? From chapter 11. Quadratic problem. So for quadratic, we're supposed to bring everything to one side. Because what is our goal? Factoring. We want to see if it's factorable or not. That's why we bring everything to one side and figure out whether it's factorable or not. Can you think of two numbers multiply to negative 15 combined to positive 2? Daniel.
Negative 5.
No, the other way around. 5 has to be positive because the middle sign is positive, and then 3 has to be negative. So we get x plus 5 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0. So x equals what? And positive 3. So observe here. We expected to have two solutions. We have two solutions, but there is a problem. Because these things are points. Every point says how many elements? Every point has how many elements in it? 2. One is x, and what's the other one? Y. So we found x values. So what do we need now? Y values for each of the x. So we go to the first equation because our y is already alone there. So y equals x squared. Now, first x we found is negative 5. So when x is negative 5, what is our y? Negative 5 squared, which is 25. And when x is 3, what is our y? 9, because we get 3 squared. Now we have solutions. So we write them down as a point. In the first point, we have x value negative 5, y value 25. This is one solution. In the next solution, our x value is 3, y value is 9. So you have to box the solution set. Any question? Easy, right? The next method is called elimination. Elimination has another name called addition. It's called elimination or addition. That's because we're going to eliminate one variable from the two variables given to us. Either eliminate x or eliminate y so that you get one variable to work with. And it's called addition because in order to eliminate, we need to add the two equations. okay? So the condition to use elimination method is that in order to eliminate any variable, they have to have same coefficients with opposite sign. For example, if you want to eliminate x and one of the x has 2, the other x has to have -2. So you add these two, they cancel out. So if they don't have the same coefficient with opposite sign, it cannot eliminate them. So first you have to modify the functions so that you can eliminate. Okay. What type of questions we have? Something like this. We have x squared minus y equals 3 and 2x squared plus y equals 9. By observing the two equations, what type of functions we have here? Huh? X squared. So what type of figures x squared have? Parabola. So we have two types of parabola. One of them is upward, one of them is downward. You may wonder, how do I know? Well, I know because I did the math in my head. If you solve for y here, you get y equals x squared minus 3, which is upward. If you solve for y here, we get y equals negative 2x squared plus 9. This is a downward. You see, I did the math in my head. So one of them is upward, one of them is downward. So by logic, we may have two solutions. Now we are not going to use substitution. Our goal is to use elimination because we have positive y and negative y. We can easily cancel them if we add the two equations. So let's add them. The negative y, positive y cancel out. How many x squared we get? 1x squared plus 2x squared. So how many x squared? 3x squared equals how much? 3 plus 9, 12. So see, after eliminating one variable, we have an equation with only one x. So our goal is to get the x alone. What do? Divide by 3, divide by 3. We get x squared is 4. Take the square root and x equals. So is 2 only number when is squared, the answer is 4?
Plus 9.
You cannot forget your plus minus. And see, we're supposed to, we assumed you have two solutions. So you have only one solution. You have to think clearly again. Well, we might get one solution if the parabola touching only at the origin. Then you have one solution. But here we are assuming you have 2 and plus, anytime you do the square root of a variable, it always supposed to have plus minus. Now the same scenario, for each x, we need to know our y. So you go to either one of the equation. It doesn't matter which one. Let me take the first one because our y is alone. Not alone, like doesn't have any, not y, sorry. X squared doesn't have any number in the front. So it will be easier to deal with. We have x squared minus y equals 3. To solve for y, we're going to add y and subtract 3. So we get y equals x squared minus 3. Now our first x is -2. So y is -2 squared minus 3. What do you get? 4 minus 3, 1. Our next x is +2. Same. We get 2 squared minus 3, which is 4 minus 3, 1 again. So the solution we get is -2, 1 and +2, 1. two solutions. Was any step unclear to anyone? Was anything confusing? No. So that's it behind this section. Either you are going to use substitution or elimination. It's your choice. Now, based on that, we have many different types of equations to deal with. So make a good judgment when you decide which method to use. The next equation says x squared plus y squared is 89, and x squared minus y squared is negative 39. Why?
Y square, like first one, it's like plus y square, and then I know the next one is negative y square.
So if you add them, we can easily cancel them. So elimination. Once you cancel, what do you have then? 2x squared equals how much? 50. And then what do you do? Divide by 2. So what is x squared? 25. And then Baruch. So what is x? Two choices, plus, minus 5. Do you know what type of shape we are dealing with? Circle. So we have two circles. Maybe we have this. Probably. So if we have this scenario, we are going to get 2. Or maybe we have this. If we do, then we have one solution. Any other way they can intersect? Two solution, one solution. Oh, sorry, not both of the circle, my bad. One of them is circle. The first one is circle. The minus one cannot be circle because circle has plus between them. They cannot have any minus between them. Do you know the shape for the next one? X squared minus y squared. Did you ever hear about the shape hyperbola?
Yeah.
It's the cousin of parabola. That's why it's called hyperbola. The parabola shape is either this way or that way. And hyperbola, it lies down. So either it's this way or that way. If I'm not wrong, okay? I forgot about that. But if we have a hyperbola this way, then we are going to have 4 solutions. Or if you have a hyperbola this way, then you're going to have 2 solutions. So you'll see how many solutions we have. 2 solutions or 4 solutions. Or if the hyperbola is just touching like this, then you have 1 solution. So our candidates are 1 solution, 2 solutions, or 4 solutions. We'll see which one is true. Okay, so we found our x. Now, we have to take one of the equations to get the y. Which one you take, it doesn't matter. Let me take the positive one because our y square is already positive here. So x squared plus y squared is 89. To solve for y squared, we subtract x squared from both sides. So we get y squared is 89 minus x squared. But we are not solving for y squared. What you are solving for? Y. So how to get the y alone? square root. And now our y is alone. Y equals square root of 89 minus x squared. Am I missing anything? Plus minus. Anytime it is the square root of a variable, it doesn't matter which variable it is the square root of. It could be x, y, z, a, b, c, anything. Square root of a variable always have two choices, plus or minus, unless the answer is 0. So what is happening here? For every one x, we get two y values. One is positive, one is negative. So first x is -5. And y says we have either y equals negative 89 minus x squared or positive 89 minus x squared under the radical. So let's see. Plus minus 89 minus -5 squares. Plus minus 89 minus what is 25? And what is 89 minus 25? 64. And do you know what is square root of 64? 8. So what does it mean? It means when x is -5, our y is -8. Also, when x is -5, our y is +8. Four solutions like this. The first one. So we are going to do the same thing twice. X equals +5. In this case, you're going to get the same result anyway. Y is plus minus square root of 89 minus x squared. We get plus minus square root of 89 minus 5 squared, which is 25, which is 64, which is 8. So the same scenario again. When x is +5, y is -8. And when x is -5, y is, sorry, when x is same +5, we have another choice for it. So when you write down the solution, you have to write down the solution as a pair. -5, -8, -5, +8, +5, -8, and +5, +8. This is your final solution. And in the final exam, not always, but sometimes they give a question from this section. Solve nonlinear equation.
They also make you graph it?
I'm drawing the graph so that you can visualize what's happening. You don't have to graph it. You're late, George.
Sorry.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
So any question on this one? Okay, then you try the next one. It is 11:21. Ashley here. Jalisa here. Michael. Lola here. Jonathan. Not here. Raina here. Denisa. Samantha here. Nicole here. Andy here. Priya here. Andrew not here. George here. Mariana here. Daniel here. Tomata here. Ajwain not here. Shireen here. Chloe. Chloe, no Chloe. Kathleen here. Brennan here. Ryan not here. Shahana not here. Brian R here. Brian V here. John not here. Alex here and Anastasia here. Brennan, at least try. No, you're just looking around and thinking something else. I could tell. You don't have to work alone, guys. You can work with your peers, neighbors. Ready? So who'd like to try it? Go ahead.
You're gonna do elimination. For 1, 2.
We're going to add these two.
2s3 equals
2x squared equals 18.
divide by c.
Divide by 2. X squared equals 9.
Then we are squaring.
Square root
X equals 500
plus minus c. Perfect. And now for y. Which one you want to use?
I use first.
First one, okay. So x squared plus 4y squared equals 4. What do you do?
I try some this is where I think I messed up. I try some 6 the x for b.
So, okay. So you get 3 squared plus 4y squared equals 4.
And then 2 squared equals 9. And we subtract it.
9 plus 4y squared equals 4. Subtract 9, subtract 9. So we get 4y square equals -5, and then
divided by squares.
divide by 4. Y square is -5, and then to take the square root. What happens here?
That's where I think I messed up, or I didn't know how to.
I'm not sure, but like, if it's a negative, it's gonna be a negative.
Exactly, it's
Okay.
imaginary, but we cannot have imaginary solution. So good question. If we cannot solve for y, what's the solution? No solution. It's an interesting one, so let's see the graph. Let's go to the graph part. Decimals.
With, if they are like, it would be in the final exam. We would just write on the notes.
First, thank you. First, you're going to check your work again, whether did you make a mistake anywhere. If you did not, then there is no solution. So the first equation is telling us there is no solution. So let's see. So we have x squared. Oops, not here. Sorry, here. Why it's capital? Come on. X squared. What is our equation? X squared what? Plus 4y squared equals 4. So this is a circle. The next one was x squared. Again, what's capital? Come on. X squared minus what? 4y squared. 4y squared equals 14. That's why there is no solution. So hyperbola, I was wrong. Hyperbola has two parts, not one part. Parabola has one part, but hyperbola has two parts. See, they're not intersecting. So there is no solution. So it's not true that you're always going to get a solution. Sometimes there is no solution. So it was a good practice. Now, one question from your quiz on my MATLAB. Which method you think will be easier here? Substitution. I shouldn't say easier. So let's try it together. If we do use substitution, I hate this nasty. It's nasty looking one. Okay. So x squared plus y squared is 64. But the y squared, the y is this entire thing. So we are going to write this entire thing here, which is 1/8 x squared minus 8. And then we can distribute the power. We have to use what? How do you work with the power? We cannot distribute the power. So do you want me to distribute this way? It's not allowed. You have to use FOIL. That's why it's nasty. FOIL. So let's use the FOIL here in this page. 1/8 x squared minus 8, 1/8 x squared minus 8. Any suggestion?
No, I'm just curious, like, since like.
Oh, actually, you didn't have to FOIL. Because square root doesn't work this way. Square root works only for two terms, one term on the left, one term on the right of the equal sign. If you have more than one term, then you cannot. So see, if you use substitution directly, we have to work with nasty numbers. So I have a trick. Why not solve for x squared? If you can solve for x squared, you can substitute this x squared with something, whatever we get from the bottom equation. That will make our life easier. So if you solve for x squared, you have to add 8 to both sides. So we get 1/8 x squared is y plus 8. And now how can you get rid of the 1/8? Multiply by 8. So we get x squared is 8y plus 64. And now it's much easier. We are going to take this 8y plus 64. Come on. We are going to add this 8y 64 and substitute here. The first equation says x squared plus y squared is 64. We are taking this x squared as 8y plus 64. 8y plus 64, this x squared. And we still have our y squared equals 64. See, it becomes much cleaner instead of foiling them out. So what I did was, even though they gave us y alone, we didn't use that y, because if you try to use that y, we have to work with horrible numbers. Instead, substitute something, solve for something that you can replace. Question. Huh? Not 6y. It is 64. Yeah, 64. So in the okay, let me do it from the beginning. Let me use this. So we realize that if you substitute y, our life becomes harder. So the trick I just realized is that why not solve for x squared? Because we can substitute this x squared here. So what can we do to get the x squared alone from the second equation? First, we need to get rid of the 8, so we add 8 to both sides. So on this side, we get 1/8 x squared. And on this side, we get y plus 8. Now we only need x squared, not 1/8 x squared. So we need to get rid of that 1/8. So you multiply by 8 on both sides of the equation. So 8 and 8 on the denominator cancel out. We get x squared here. And on this side, we distribute, we get 8y plus 8 times 8 is 64. So now we are happy because our second equation is telling us x squared is same as 8y plus 64. Once we realize that, now we went to the first equation. The first equation says x squared plus y squared is 64. And we just realized, hey, x squared is 8y plus 64. So let's erase this x squared and write 8y plus 64, and then keep everything else same. Plus y squared equals 64. So we have y squared. That means we want to bring everything to one side. Our goal is to factor. So we need to subtract 64 from both sides. As a result, the number get vanished. So we get y squared plus 8y equals 0. Right? And now life is easy. How do you solve two terms? There are two methods. One is difference of perfect squares. And what's the other method? GCF. When you have two terms, you have a common factor. Do you have any common factor? Y. So factor out the y. What is left? Y plus 8. And now it's easy to solve, right? You take the y, set it equals to 0, and you don't have to do anything, it's already solved. You take this, y plus 8, set it equals to 0. That tells us y is -8. These are two y values we have. So what do we need now? X values. So we already know that x squared is this thing. So x squared is 8y plus 64. We are not looking for x squared, we are looking for x. So what do you do? Square root, square root. So x equals square root of 8y plus 64. And what? Plus minus. So we solve for x for every y. Our first y is 0. That tells us x is plus minus square root of 8 times 0 plus 64. So plus minus 0 plus 64, which is only 64, which is 8. So answer is plus minus 8. The next y is -8. So x is plus minus square root of 8 times -8 plus 64. So plus minus, what do you get? -64, positive 64, which is square root of 0, which is 0. So plus minus 0 doesn't matter. It's just 0. So we are going to write down the solution. When x is 8, our y is 0. Also, when x is -8, our y is 0. This is what plus minus means. When 8 is positive, our y is 0. When 8 is negative, our y is also 0. That's one solution. Second solution, when x is 0, our y is -8, and we get only one solution from here. Because plus minus 0 means just 0. So we have three solutions, which looks weird, right? The first one is a square, first one is a circle, and second one is a parabola. Oh, probably this is what we have. Then we have 1, 2, 3 solutions. Yeah, then it makes sense. But let's check. I'm not sure. Okay, check. In case if I'm wrong. X squared plus y squared is 64. X squared plus y squared is 64. 5 minus 64. And the next one, we have y equals, what do you have for y equals? What's the equation for the next one? Say it loud, I didn't hear. Y equals what? 1/8 x squared and then -8. Oh, we are right. Cool. That's all your two solutions. One is here, 0, -8. One is here, 8, 0. And one is here, -8, 0. Cool. Your algebra now. This question actually in the non-calculator part. Okay, so this is my MATLAB, okay? In the final exam, they usually make your life easier. Like these 3 questions, these are 5 questions, these are final exam questions. But what we have now is my MATLAB. So if you do my MATLAB, means you are doing harder stuff. If you know how to do harder stuff, then final exam will be a breeze for you. Because final exam is much easier than my MATLAB. Okay, try one more. Which is much easier than the last one. Which method do you think would be easier? Substitution. Done? Ready, guys? Priya, would you like to help me with this one? So from here you squared, so you got y square is 3x, and then you substitute this y square here, right? So x squared plus or y square is 3x equals 4. Subtract 4, subtract 4. So x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. X plus 4 and x minus 1, perfect. X plus 4, x minus 1, x is negative 4, and x is positive 1. And then what did you do to solve for y? The first x is negative 4. We get y equals square root of 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. So what do you do? Do you get any solution from here? We do not. Why not? This is imaginary. So no solution when x is negative 4. Then how about the next one? When x is 1, y square root of 3 times 1, which is square root of 3. So do you get a solution from here? What's the solution? You have to write as a pair, right? So how do you write the solution? 1 square root of 3. So all these questions are interesting, like different from one another. Wow. And do you know why do you have only one solution, not two solutions? Any idea? But why? Second one is a circle. First one is not a line. So we have y square is 3x. So it's like y square is hyperbola. So if you no, y square is square root of x. Or y square is square root of x. It's a square root formula. Square root. So somewhere here. And this square root has only one part, positive part. If it had positive or negative, then we could have two solutions. But they're giving us only positive square root of x. So one solution. Interesting. The last question. X squared plus 2y squared is 3, and x minus y is 4. Done already, did you? Which method you are using?
Multiply
By what?
by a number. By n.
You can multiply all the terms. You can multiply by 2, but does it help you? The first y square has positive 2y square. The second line will have only y.
Square.
You cannot randomly put a square. You can multiply as a coefficient, not as a power. The only thing I can see is substitution. But do any of you have? You can solve for the top equation, then you get plus minus. It will be.
Try like doing the substitution because that's like what I figured from the second.
So instead of solving for the first equation, you can solve for the second equation. That will be easier. The first equation has square. So if you want to solve, you'll get plus minus. So if you work with the second one, we can solve for x. We get x equals y plus 4. And then we can substitute this x with this y plus 4. So in the first equation, we have x squared plus 2y squared equals 3. But instead of x squared, we can write y plus 4. And then how do you work with the power? Well, so y plus 4 squared means y plus 4, y plus 4. So use FOIL, and then you're going to get y squared plus 8y plus 16. Eliminated bread. Y squared plus 8y plus 16. And then we still had 2y squared equals 3. Since you're y squared, so we want to bring everything to one side. So here we have like terms. 3y squared plus 8y, and then plus 13 equals 0. You can do it by 3, but then you have to use complete the square method. Or you can try using AC method and see if it's factorable or not. AC means multiply A with the C. So we get 39. Can you think of two numbers multiplied to 39 combined to 8? No? 1, 39, 3, and 13. And then nothing else. Oh man, then you have to use quadratic formula. Huh? We cannot use quadratic formula. So let's check our discriminant. Discriminant, we have to check all possibilities. Discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. As long as this is positive, we get a solution. So b, this is b. B squared means 8 squared minus 4 times 3 times 13. So this is 64 minus 12 times 13. 3 times 2, 6, 1 times 1, 1. And then we get 5, 156. So we get negative number under the radical. We just wasted our time. There is no solution. But these are from your quiz, okay? So enjoy taking your quiz on my math lab.
It's always like in class, I feel like, okay, I understand, and I
I
study
know.
my math lab, and I'm like.
In class, I go with final exam materials. But in my math lab, now before you leave, we can take other questions if you want me to go over it. These are all the questions we have in the quiz. Let me show you from the beginning. The first one, it's easy, right? Substitution. We simply annotate. We can use y, this y with x squared, and then quadratic formula. The next one, I have to erase all the annotate and I hate this. Wait. The next one, which method do you think would be easier? Substitution or elimination?
No.
Elimination would be easier because you can subtract this, subtract this, subtract this. The plus and minus cancel out. You get y squared minus y plus 1 squared equals -5. Well, bring this on the left, and if it's factorable, factor. Once you solve for y, and then either you can use this one or that one. If you use this one, your x squared is 4 minus y squared. Take the square root. So your x will be plus minus 4 minus y squared. Okay. The next one. It looks bad, but let me teach you another way of elimination method. See, we can eliminate x squared, but the only problem is what? The second x squared doesn't have any 5 in the front. Multiply by it, your problem will be solved. So multiply entire equation by 5, we get -5 x squared positive 5 y squared equals 5 times 24. What is 5 times 24? How much? 120? 120. And keep your first equation unchanged. 5x squared plus 3y squared equals 80. And now add the two equations. When you add, x squared get vanished. You get 8x squared equals to 128. And now you know how to solve for x, solve for y. So you will have plus minus some numbers. You go to either one of the equations. I think this one will be easier. Negative x squared. Actually, keep x squared. Subtract 24 and then add x squared. So x squared will be y squared minus 24. So x will be plus minus y squared minus 24. So you take each quantity from here, substitute here. So you're going to get 4 solutions, I believe. Oh yeah, the solution is here. But you're going to get different numbers, okay? Not the same quiz. Everybody get different numbers, different things. But the questions are similar, okay? Very similar. Okay, let me erase. And let's see the next one. The next one we just did. Yep. The next one we just did.
No solution.
Yeah, no solution. We just did it. This one also we did. The bad one. So instead of solving for y, try to solve for x squared so that you can substitute the result here. Erase. This one is simpler. Which method?
You can subtract.
Elimination. If you add the two equations, they cancel out. So you work with one variable and then substitute back. The next one. Which method? Substitution. You can substitute y with this here, but when you do, remember it's a minus y. So it will be 5x minus inside the parentheses. Distribute. So you'll have 5x minus x squared plus 1 and subtract the 5. And then negative x squared plus 5x minus 4 equals 0. We don't want the x squared to be negative. So move everything to the other side. X squared become positive, 5x become negative, 4 becomes positive, and then try to factor. Whatever solution you get, substitute here to get your y values. Okay. And you get two solutions. The next one is same. Just follow the rule. The next one is easy because your y is x. So substitute one of them. Either substitute x with y or y with x. So if you do x with y, we get y squared plus 3y squared is 20. That gives us 4y squared is 20. So y squared is 5. So what is y? Plus minus radical 5. And your y is your x. So whatever you get, your x is same thing, plus minus 5. So you get when x is positive radical 5, your y is the same thing, positive radical 5. When your y is negative radical 5, your y is same thing, negative radical 5. So you get two solutions. So here's one of the easy but confusing one. Okay, let's see next one. What happened? Why did it go? Oh, so we went over every question? Good job. So you know how to, now you know how to take the quiz easily and get 100%. Okay, but you cannot take it without doing your homework. So every question, so remember on 24, chapter 12. So chapter 12, due date is 25, the entire chapter 12, which is Tuesday midnight, and then 13.3, 13.1, you can have time till 12/8. So the last day to submit any homework or quizzes is 12/8, December 8, okay? You have to do whatever you have before that. So enjoy your Thanksgiving, everyone.
You too.
See you after so many days. Be safe, don't get sick.
With like, check their level, like, or the next exam.